recommend that when looking for niches, you go with the traditional health, wealth, and relationships categories. However, you'll be looking at these differently. Forget Amazon for a second, because the gold mine is here. I'll give it to you straight. This is the source. If you come to dummies.com and look at all these books, you don't want things like Avengers for Dummies. We want to browse by the collections. You can come in here and look, but you can also browse their master list. Here are all their collections. I found it best to look at their entire lineup on the sitemap. So on the sitemap, you get the category. You'll see we have keto diet recipes, all kinds of health and wellness, investing, credit, loans, crypto, photography, insurance. On the surface, you might think there isn't much desperation in these niches, but I would say think again. These surface level books have been validated by Wiley & Sons. They've found an audience pool and niche markets and determined there are enough people in this space to spend money to publish a book on topics like vaping addiction, thyroid issues, or obesity. Just by looking through this category list, you'll have no shortage of health, wealth, or relationship niched ideas. All I want you to do is grab the ones that initially jump out at you. Right now, you're not eliminating much because you don't know what you don't know. However, your first audio tapping into a desperate niche that produces $100 to $200 a day is in this list alone. You wouldn't have to look anywhere else. For example, on the sitemap, if you clicked on divorce, then view all books, you would sometimes see multiple books in that category. If you explore the book, this is where you can get all the titles. Next, after compiling that list, head over to Amazon. You can even see this on Amazon. Just search and you'll want to get the table of contents. There are 2 steps I want you to get into the habit of doing. When you get here and see the Wiley book, look at the other ones available and search for different angles within the niche. For example, Divorce Simply Stated, How to Achieve More, Worry Less, and Save Money highlights a financial angle to divorce. You'll find many emotional angles on the topic of divorce. In the For Dummies book itself, they tend to cover everything, offering a broad perspective. So scroll down and see what else is there. Look for any outliers, things that stand out and are worth noting down. Maybe something that has nothing directly to do with divorce, but like right here, divorcing a narcissist. Okay, that stands out to me because that person has a very specific issue and it's a different angle. I'll hold Control Command on a Mac, click that and save it to revisit later. As it could be an audio we scale repeatedly online with TikTok videos. These videos could highlight the contrast of getting a narcissist out of one's life and all the pain points associated with it. I can see that being a great product at first glance. Once you start doing this, you'll see, Control click that and keep scrolling down. Then you can start looking at the reviews. Read these reviews carefully. Find the valuable ones, not those from competitors or unhelpful comments. If a book offers value, find the gems, the specific insights it provides. For example, some reviews might say waste of money or hoping it would help me fill out divorce papers. These are also useful. All I want you to do is explore options. Perhaps it's giving you ideas for a resource kit or similar tools. Next, once you've extracted all the valuable information from this page, I would open a Google Doc, type divorce at the top, and start gathering your notes, ideas, and pasting links. Paste the link to this one we just found. This might be a topic we explore later. This is my process. You can get fancy with Notion and tabs, or you can just open a Google Doc, type in these notes, copy links, and get to selling this thing as fast as possible, right? From here, you have 2 options. Some of you will have access to the audio flipping software if you're on the beta list. If not, reach out to us because this next step uses it. If you're not using the software, all you need to do is click here, select read a sample, and go to the table of contents. You'll want to dig through this table of contents and start taking pictures. We're going to grab one here because you're going to, hey, let's just open a Google Doc now so you can see how we do it. So we'll say I'm or you search, right? There it is. I don't want to forget this one because I think right from the start, if this is a good idea, we'll build it live over my shoulder. So you can see the process of going from an idea I know nothing about to building it. Let's just put that here. I personally like to grab the title so I can see what this thing is about, and the cover. Let's put that there. As I said, you can get more organized, but this is good enough for me. Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay, cool. Got a new one for you guys to see. So now what's on page 2? Is that it? Okay, that was the contents at a glance. I always grab that. Then what you're going to love with Wiley is how they structure their content with what seems like one page per chapter. These contents are insane. This is another reason why I love their book structures. I mean, look at this. Look at how comprehensive it is. That's just chapter 6, and you've got like a page per content per chapter. So you want to get all of those. For now, let me just get the first one for this demonstration. Let's grab that one. These are right clickable. So yes, I've been screenshotting the whole time. There's that one. I just want to make sure I demonstrate the process, not just do it without showing. I want you to see the ugly, raw process of fumbling through it so you know what to expect. It feels more organic to me, so allow me to fumble as we go through this, but I will guide you. It's the method to the madness. So we have this. At this point, you're going to either run the scripts and prompts I gave you to extract the desperate angles. Let's imagine we copied all of the table of contents for this divorce audio research, or you would use the software. Now, give you a preview to the software again. If you need access or are interested in beta access, reach out to us. Okay, so we're in the audio flipping TOC analyzer table of contents. We'll click this. If you're using the software, it's important to go to the contents themselves and grab the image. We copy that, come back to the software, paste it, and you'll see it load. Then you'll see analyze this file. What it's doing is finding the desperate angles directly from the table of contents, so you don't have to do any manual searching. Both versions work. The software just makes it a little easier. All right, so now we're here, and it has extracted these topics from that one page of the table of contents created earlier. We have the credit angle after divorce. The financial angle seems strong. We have an algorithm here that measures the runway you have with a particular niche, its urgency, and the opportunity to scale it with paid traffic and organic reach in mind. So the financial future post-divorce is obviously a good one. Informal separation protection strategies, crafting legal separation agreements. The agreements were good. We saw that in the review smoothly. This is just from one page. Let's say you had those two and you were really leaning towards the financial angle. You'd say, create 2 projects. You can work on it from here. Okay, that's the software. Okay. Then you just come back in here and start adding those. But let's keep looking. So we're in here, and this was something different. When you get to Amazon bestsellers, you scroll down, that kind of stuff. You're looking for those pain points, like the courage to be disliked, or adult children of emotionally immature parents, how to heal from that. There we go. That's an emotional one. So it's part art, part science. If it's solving a pain that someone is feeling deeply in a unique way, and it's not highly demonstrated, but you can talk to them, which is the whole point of the audio, and deliver value while they're on the way to work, at their desk, at the gym, or wherever, then that's going to be a good niche. This looks like another great niche. Now that I understand what it's saying, it seems to be about adults who may have suffered some trauma from their parents. So we have a person married to a narcissist, but these are children of narcissists. There's a theme here. Okay, I might be onto something. How to heal from dissonant rejection. Let's look at the sample. How emotionally immature parents affect adult children's lives. Let me just see this one. This is very interesting. I'm going to run it on the script real quick. Again, you can use the prompts. Let's analyze the file and see what we get. Impact of immature parenting. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Perfect. So I'm going to get a different niche. This is how unorganized I'm going to be. Even though this is the divorce file, I won't cause you that much pain. I'll start a new file. I was going to put it all in one, but let's go ahead and start a new one. Many people will say, oh, I'll just repackage it and sell PDFs and all that. Use your brain and think, is this helping or hurting the situation? In this case, repackaging a framework and delivering it in a way that can actually help somebody deal with this without providing medical advice looks like a win so far. We'll see. All right, next, we'll continue with that. Go wild with the dummies books and Amazon searching of those dummy topics, but don't spend weeks doing it. It's easy to end up with pages of results. I've gone down this rabbit hole. About 20% of what you find will be your winners, adhering to the 80/20 principle, maybe even 10%. So just go with that, get some cash flowing, and then revisit it. You'll find you can spend a couple of months building a brand within one niche. Okay, let me give you an example of what that looks like before we go any further. You could go see if we can find a brand in here. For example, let's say you were in this ADHD niche, providing an audio for parents with children of a certain age, offering coping and life strategies. That can turn into a brand like Understood, where they not only get audios, but also resources, exercises, and a community. You start building that along with downloads and an app. I'll talk more about that later. It all started with the audio, but now this brand takes on a life of its own. You have a sellable asset, a significant share of your market. I mean, this is a massive market. So you have a little slice of a massive market is what I mean to say. And you do it your way, all powered by audio. Once you realize how far you can take that, starting from a list of dummies books or Amazon topics from a table of contents, there's so much potential. It's ridiculous to spend weeks filling out your Google Doc when there's so much you can do within one niche. Okay. All right. So that's that. Now it doesn't start with dummies. You also want to go to Idiot's Books, which are by Random House. If you haven't noticed, they followed the same playbook. Dummies worked so well that Idiot said, we'll give it a shot. And just like Wiley and Sons, they will scope out a niche, validate an angle, and you'll see they have their own audiobooks as well, such as personal finance. You know, their site is a little less organized, but if you come to it and do a search, you'll see they have topics in various categories that you can explore. Then there's one more. Simon & Schuster has Everything's Books. I can only imagine, maybe you've heard of these. If not, you might be wondering what the heck. But all three of these, well, the last two sprang out of the Dummies book franchise. Everything's Books does things a little differently, but their table of contents is really robust. It has little cutouts, excerpts that can be small audio products themselves, but they still have all the categories you would expect in nonfiction, like health and wellness. For finding niches, compile those three into your Google Doc. Next, I'm going to show you one of the most powerful solutions I've seen for finding more of these topics or validating existing ones you already have, which is called Gummy Search. So let's head over to Gummy and take a look at how to use this.